Hey guys, Tony here. Tuesday, June 11th. Let's talk some AMC. We've got 3 weekends left until the quarter is over. Q2. AMC finished the day today at $5.22. After hours, it closed at $5.16. And I want to start off just kind of like looking back at the last 4 to 5 weeks. We have AMC here generally on an upward trend. And is it surprising to you, like it is to me, that that big run up we had is already a month behind us? That was back on May 13th. Here it is, June 11th. Almost 30 days ago, we had that massive run up, and AMC has been able to keep this price up in the $4.50, $5 range going on now for a month. What the heck is going on? When we look at other stocks like Cinemark over the same time frame, you can see a generally downward trend, and even IMAX generally downward trend. And these are the two profitable companies. They're getting beat up over this Q2 box office while AMC is not. What box office am I talking about? I'm talking about the domestic box office as reported by Box Office Mojo, currently sitting at $1.17 billion for the quarter with just 3 weekends to go. Not really where we want to be. However, we knew in advance because of the actors and writers strike that Q1 and Q2 were going to be slow and that Q2 was going to be back end loaded to June and relying on some big tent poles. Bad Boys Ride or Die opened up better than expected. We have Inside Out 2 opening up this weekend, and we have A Quiet Place Day 1 opening up at the end of this month. And I am hopeful that the combination of all of these movies can get us to the point where we get this box office up from 1.176 to 1.6 billion, or if people really go support these movies, maybe even a little bit higher than 1.6 billion. It's a lot to ask, I know, but I think that it is still in the realm of possibility. Why am I so worried about those box office numbers? Well, for the same reason I was worried about them at the end of Q1, because as a sort of paranoid investor or speculator, maybe is the right word for AMC. As a paranoid speculator, I am worried about cash burn and the temptation of the company to raise additional equity to dilute shareholders. And I told you guys back in March that since I didn't make videos giving you my thoughts in March, I would try and do a better job here in June of sharing those thoughts with you. So here we are. And maybe some of you aren't going to like it. Don't worry. We're going to talk about the ongoing squeeze with GameStop and AMC at the end of this video. But let's get this cash burn stuff out of the way, because it kind of sets the foundation for what we talk about at the end of this video. AMC needs about 2.4 billion box office domestic to turn a profit in a quarter. And I'm forecasting on a reasonable basis, I think that, we can end up this quarter around 1.6 billion domestic, which is going to be a net loss for the company. And there will be a cash burn for AMC in Q2. How big? I don't know. We're going to have to touch base together, you and I, at the beginning of every week and talk about how the movies did over the weekend. These Bad Boys, Ride or Die, Inside Out 2, and A Quiet Place. It's still a little bit early to say exactly where the box office ends up. But I think, right now, we're probably looking in the neighborhood of a cash burn for Q2, at least in the neighborhood of $250 million. Rough estimate. I don't know for sure. But I think 250 million cash burn is a reasonable number to be talking about right now. And that number may change as the next 3 weekends happen. But I am concerned about cash burn for AMC. And I am concerned about management's temptation to feel the need to go out into the equity markets and raise more cash. It's a bit of a balancing act, right? Because we don't know really what is in their head, and we're about to go into a very good Q3 and a Q4. So what are they going to do? I don't know that I know exactly what they're going to do, but we're going to have the talks, and you can share in my paranoia, and maybe we don't have the same feelings about it, and maybe we don't make the same decisions about what to do, but at least you know what I'm thinking. AMC finished its last capital raise on May 13th, raising $250 million. That was the cash raise that was announced on March 28th. That is signified on the chart here by these two vertical blue lines, the time that it took. And you can see that the stock was trading before that capital raise in the $5 range. And we generally see when dilution's announced, the price drops. And then when the dilution is done, the price over time tends to move back up as people forget about the pain of the dilution. But in the middle of all of this, we had the GameStop phenomenon with Roaring Kitty, and that got us an immediate price run up to the $12 range before coming back down and settling where we're at now, trading in this $5 range again. Just to bring you guys up to speed, if you're not a regular viewer of my channel, I was worried about dilution at the end of Q1. I sold my AMC shares on March 27th, a day before they announced the dilution, because of the cash burn calculations and the paranoia I had that they were about to announce a dilution. And indeed, I was lucky there. I got out and they announced the dilution the very next day. Lucky timing. And I bought back in on the dip. That is the whole point of getting out, to avoid the price getting run down, preserve your capital, buy when the price bottoms out. And when AMC shot up on May 13th, I got out again into that run up. Made a lot of money, and I don't own any AMC right now. It's been a whole month that I have not owned AMC. It feels a little bit strange, but I have been playing some weekly call options in case there is a price run up, part 2, along with GameStop. So we will see. As far as why I'm not buying AMC right now, I am worried about this Q2 box office numbers. And I wanted to see between now and, say, June 21st, when the Roaring Kitty options are expiring, and June 30th, the end of Q2, how this all plays out. I'm okay with being patient for a few weeks and sitting out of the play. If there's any upside, I have a little bit of money invested in long call options, and I will participate in any upward momentum. And if the stock just stays flat or trades down, I don't have enough invested in long call options that it's going to hurt my portfolio. It's a small amount. If the price goes down, that is really what I'm waiting on, to go back in with my meme stock money and load back up on AMC shares. So I don't have a position in shares at the moment. I'm not adverse to getting some again. I'm just trying to be as patient and smart about it as I can. And we'll just have to wait and see. So that is my strategy for the moment. Playing weekly call options with a small amount of money invested. I had $8 and $10 strikes that week when it ran up in May. Plus I had stock in the beginning of May. And right now I just have $8 call options. We will wait and see what happens this week. If I don't make money on them, not a big deal. Next week, we start over again. I would prefer to be buying in the $3.50 or $4 range, but we might not ever get back down there again. Maybe $5 is the new norm. And if $5 is the new norm and it holds in this level as we start moving into Q3 and the excitement of Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm perfectly happy to buy it at the $5 level, because I think that it only gets better for AMC as we move throughout the rest of this year. In terms of box office, we still have this lingering concern of the debt restructuring and not knowing what the lenders might be requiring from AMC as far as their cash position on the balance sheet, or what they might be thinking about doing to pay off some more of that 2026 debt, the 10-12% PIK toggle subordinated notes. They do want to continue to attack that. And we talked about that on the live stream a couple weeks ago, where we talked about the AMC debt restructuring. If you have not watched that, I think that is a critical video for you to go watch and get completely up to speed on everything AMC's thinking about as far as this debt restructuring for 2026 goes, and the timeline. Will AMC run up this week or next week in conjunction with some sort of GameStop run up? I think there's a reasonable probability that we could assign that could happen. I can't tell you that that's going to happen for sure. I can't even tell you for sure that it's going to happen in GameStop. But I think for those of us that like to speculate with a reasonable small percentage of our portfolio on a speculative type FOMO play or squeeze play, that, hey, we could have a little bit of fun and maybe make a little bit more money if it runs up again. I personally am trying to be very conservative, only putting a small amount of money in long call options right now. And to wrap up, if the price stays flat into next month, I'm perfectly fine buying AMC in this $4.55 level. However, if we get another dilution notice, or if another squeeze doesn't happen, or another run up in GameStop and AMC over the next 2 weeks, and the price starts coming down, then it gets more to a point where I feel it's a more risk-free investment, something like a $3.50 range, a $4 range. I don't know that we'll get down there, but that's kind of how I'm evaluating the play. I am being very cautious. I'm being very patient. I am more optimistic about the second half of this year into next year, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that the company needs to raise more cash, likely to pay off some of that 2026 debt. So I'm never going to stop thinking about that, and I'm never going to stop talking with you guys about it until I hear from AMC management that they've got a debt restructuring deal done. Then we can stop having these cash burn paranoia talks. Anyways, that's my thoughts today. I'm long with you guys just on calls, so I wish all of you that are trading or speculating on a run-up over the next couple weeks all the best. I'm still following it closely all day, every day, just like you guys are. Feel free to drop your questions or comments down below. I love to hear from you guys. I like knowing what is on your mind, what you are thinking. Thank you for watching this video. I am Tony Denaro, and I will see you on the next one.
So you